Hello, everybody. My name is Adriana Salgado, and today I'm going to be talking about selecting appropriate instructional models in an elementary school classroom utilizing the UFLI curriculum. The curriculum that I chose to evaluate is called the University of Florida Literacy Institute, or UFLI for short. Designed for students in kindergarten through second grade, UFLI provides students with the necessary foundational tools to become successful readers. It uses scripted lessons and explicit instruction to ensure students have the necessary skills to be successful. I selected this curriculum because after using it this past year with my kindergarten students, I found my students ending the school year as readers. I saw firsthand how engaged and motivated this program keeps the students. It follows a realistic and vigorous curriculum map that follows seamlessly throughout different grade levels. I believe that if educators continue to utilize this program, students will continue to succeed and enjoy reading instruction. Now, Jean Piaget's theory of cognitivism aligns with the UFLI Foundation's curriculum. This theory studies how the mind naturally works throughout different stages of an individual's life in order to understand the best practices for learning. Instructional models and designs are backed up by science and countless amounts of studies that prove how the brain learns. While using this program, I noticed that every UFLI lesson begins with an overview of the concepts that were taught in previous lessons. For example, in kindergarten, we were learning letters. Before introducing a new letter, the teacher was to display the letters that were previously taught while the students identified the letter name and sound. This aligns with Piaget's theory because research states that the brain learns better when prior knowledge is activated. This gives the new schema a foundation to build upon when new concepts are introduced. The instructional model that would be most appropriate in a classroom setting while utilizing UFLI would be direct instruction. This model focuses on explicit instruction done by an educator with new skills introduced at a pace that the students need. Each new skill is expected to be mastered before moving on to the next level. Students are also placed in groups based on level in order to work on similar skills with their peers. As previously stated, this program is specifically designed for teachers to provide explicit and intentional instruction for the students. Every lesson follows the same scripted model, and students would know what to expect as they learn new concepts. One instructional strategy that would fit the direct instruction learning model would be an activity that gives students the chance to use a combination of previous and new skills to spell new words. The teacher can say a word and call on students to come to the board and write it. This can be done after the teacher thinks aloud to model how to spell a word with a similar beginning, middle, or ending sound. After the teacher says the word, the students can have time to chop the sound on their arm before volunteering to come to the board and write. This helps students stay engaged even if they are not going to the board because they are still responsible for isolating the sounds of a word. An interdisciplinary skill that can be incorporated into this lesson is vocabulary development. As the teacher is calling out new words, they can incorporate words from other subjects that align with what is currently being taught. For example, if my class is learning about geography and social studies, they can practice spelling the word map. This allows them to practice segmenting and isolating sounds while building the vocabulary that they will learn about in social studies. Another strategy that would best fit the UFLI instructional model would be to work with students in small groups to review spelling and reading new words. The small group instruction could start with a quick review of the new concept taught during whole group instruction, followed by the teacher calling out a word that includes the new letter or concept with it. Before writing new words, students can whisper what sounds they hear along with the letters that those sounds make to a partner. This ensures that the students are working on their communication skills alongside writing and reading new words. Students can then use a whiteboard and dry erase marker to spell the new words. This can be repeated as many times as time allows. This instructional strategy keeps students engaged because they are required to think about what sounds make up a word. Then they are required to match each isolated sound with a letter and write it. One application that would support in-person learning using this curriculum would be the provided beginner or intermediate work mat. This mat looks similar to a keyboard with every letter. There are spaces at the top for students to use to drag drag letters up and to spell new words. This can be used during whole or small group instruction to review foundational skills that are being taught. Another application that would support at-home learning would be iReady Reading. This differentiated instructional tool assesses the students in many different reading skills to identify where they're at academically. After it levels them, it provides them with independent, individualized instruction in phonics, phonological awareness, reading comprehension, and more. This would be a great tool for students to use during at-home learning because they can still receive differentiated instruction without the teacher being present. That is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.